So we're talking about these cringe moments. For me, the most cringe-inducing scene was the National Front meeting. Like the
Cringe for different reasons, though. Maybe, yeah, because
yeah, well, but I mean, it's it's nauseating. It's like repulsive.
my cringe is
The
more a criticism of the film, whereas you're just
Okay,
saying,
no,
yeah,
it's the I believe those characters. I've seen
right,
that
right.
kind of enthusiasm and the clapping and the cheering and at one point this is not at the National Front meeting, but um Combo, when giving one of his impromptu speeches to his troops, is talking. He's basically alluding to Shakespeare's Henry V. Did you notice that? We happy few, we band of brothers.
Yeah.
You know, it just reminded me of how that's like the worst Shakespearean play. And we forget how, Henry V is basically nationalistic propaganda.
Okay, I don't know too much about that, but I trust you.
Yeah, it's pretty
Um,
gross. I mean, well, the scene, the National Front scene reminded me of like an Amway meeting, just that almost unbelievably false
what do you mean by an Amway
enthusiasm.
meeting?
Have you ever been?
Amway is what? A train?
No, no, no. Amway, the you know
Is it like?
entrepreneurial organization. They sell like kitchen products and I don't know what
Oh
else.
no, I don't know what that is.
It's like a pyramid scheme
Oh, okay.
organization, right?
Yeah.
And it's it's based on recruitment. Some people tried to recruit me, and I went out of curiosity, and I saw these people like it's almost religious, their
Yeah.
fervor and
Right.
enthusiasm. It made me sick to my stomach. I wanted to vomit. It made me
To
nauseous.
your credit, yeah.
Yeah, and so I got the same vibe from them at this meeting, and he's like encouraging the other younger members to clap and applaud and cheer. And when one, I can't remember that guy's name, but he's talking, he slaps him in the head. Show some respect.
Right, right,
It's
right.
like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So that was the most cringe moment for
Yeah, I
me.
mean, and there are elements of this in Trump rallies, without me just going into
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Trump
thought of that.
hysteria, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
thought of that. I thought of that, you know, MAGA movement too. It's
and the
like,
dog whistling,
mm-hmm.
and if there's a journalist that they don't like, they kind of
And the attention to language too, right? Like, we can't even say the word man anymore, right?
right,
And here the word they think they can't say is England. We
right,
can't even
exactly.
say it. It's a dirty word. It's almost like the overreaction to so-called cancel culture, right? Like, if we say the word England, we're going to get canceled. I mean, it's not that people don't get canceled, but there is an overreaction to it for the wrong reasons. And
And
so I was
here I'm of
reminded
two
of that
minds a
here.
little bit. I'm of two minds because it's true in a way that you really can't say England anymore, really. But I'm kind of glad about that. So that's why I say I'm of two minds. Like, because I just think nationalism. I have so little affection for nationalism that I don't even really care. But at the same time, like I do think other people should have the right to have some more nationalism. I'm a unique example because I'm such a world citizen person traveler.
Yeah, but is it true that they're being stopped from saying it? They can't say it?
No, of course. So yeah, that's hyperbolic,
Yeah.
but there there are aspects of like of that. There could be like a grain of truth in that. Is all I'm saying. Not in the racism, but in the. Anyway, we've talked about that stuff. So we're gonna just talk about this final brutal, tragic, climactic scene. So Combo is rejected by Lol, which you already referred to. He's looking for some kind of escape, and apparently he's gonna find it in weed. Which, for me, it's like it's pretty tame. If that's gonna be like, I expect Combo to do some really crazy shit, which I guess he does like, moments later. But the simple act of buying some weed seems pretty innocuous. But he bumps into Milky. Milky agrees to sell him some weed. They go over to their.
And well, we should point out, by doing that, he has to abandon the girl that he promised to walk home.
Yeah.
So there's I thought that was significant because it's kind of like bros before hoes, you know?
Right.
It's like, why is it important to you to be friendly with this fucking asshole? Like, just tell him, no, I can't help you. But he actually wants that acceptance. So that was, I won't say disappointing, but
Again, you wonder if fear has something to do with it, though, too.
Could be, but if it had been me, I would have said, I'll catch up with you later.
Yeah, and, like Woody does.
I would walk with the girl.
You charm her, Mark. Anyway.
I'm a gentleman.
Absolutely.
Or at least
true gentleman is hard to find.
At least a genital.
Okay. So, we see this very dramatic scene, which kind of has everything in it. It has moments of sweetness. They're hanging out. They're smoking weed. Everybody's in good spirits for once, and in chilled out spirits. We've seen this new faction of the skinheads turn into this really poisonous group that terrorize immigrants, that are constantly vandalizing. But here they are with less aggro energy, thanks to the weed, thanks to the good vibe music. We see Combo and Milky start to bond in a way that feels genuine. And I don't know, is there ever a thought at that point that this could end well, or do we know that it's just gonna?
With Combo, there's always like this menace. There's always, there's something boiling beneath the surface, and it's going to explode at some point.
Yeah,
I knew sociopaths like this. I knew them in Texas, and so I don't know, instinctively, I knew that something was coming, right?
Yeah,
because I've seen and been around people like that,
and because we kind of expected from the film, just to say, like there's also that, like
sure,
we expect something really dramatic, and it comes shortly afterwards. Milky is
what triggers him.
Yeah, so Milky's being generous and
well, apparently it's the mention of the absent father. He's like, "Did you have a bad dad?" And he's like crying, and he's like, "You have 22 cousins?" And what is it in his mind that upsets him that these people are getting like benefits from the social safety net, that he feels that is unjust?
I thought that was the case, but it seems like critics say it's more about him not having the kind of warmth that Milky has with his family, where he can go over to grandma's anytime and there's love there. How he loves his extended family. How even though his dad was gone a lot, he has huge respect for his dad because his dad always put food on the table. So it's just triggering him because he clearly had a worse upbringing. So it's like the two things combined: one, him being the other, and two, him enjoying life.
Mm,
And I think the enjoying life is the critical part here. That just,
that makes
especially
sense.
with how upset he is in that moment for just getting dumped.
I mean, I think one thing I like about the scene is that it's not clear. You just see like his thought process is
Right.
fucked. Like he's just a mass of contradictory thoughts and emotions, and he's fucked up. He's damaged. He's
Yeah.
pathetic. I mean, he's also a piece of shit, but he's so pathetic that you just have to throw up your hands. It's like,
And let's talk about the attributes of this character in that he's very he is a good speaker. He's charismatic. Um I'm just saying this is someone with clear talents and I don't mean talent necessarily for good, obviously, but he's from most critical appraisals, he puts in the best performance of all the actors. He's riveting when and I was even kind of seeing how other actors were commenting working with him playing this role. He was like absolutely like getting into character, really like we can sense that. So yeah,
this
that's
is
to his credit.
Stephen Graham is the actor.
Yes, that's to
Yeah,
his credit.
it is a masterful performance. Uh, did you notice that he was in The Irishman too?
No.
Yeah,
Wow.
he shows up for the meeting late, the meeting
Ah, yeah.
with
That's a crazy scene.
yeah, and he's wearing shorts that also
In
offended
Florida. Yeah.
right, that offended uh I want to say Al Capone. That's not right. Um,
Yeah, because a
who's
lot of
the
these actors,
Al Pacino plays Hoffa, Jimmy Hoffa, sorry.
right. Just a lot of these actors are apparently quite inexperienced. So I don't know if he was at
I
that
thought
point, but
I thought Woody was great. I mean, of course
yeah,
Sean is great, but the Woody character is very likable,
yeah,
sympathetic, and I
sure.
think the actor did a great job. I mean, they all did. The mom is interesting too. You know, she really is. You think, or I thought, oh, she's just like a fucking absentee mom, but she's actually very caring and
Yeah,
sweet and hardworking. You know,
yeah.
tender
Um,
hearted.
so Milky, it seems like he survived, right? Because I initially thought he died.
I did too, but the mom
Yeah,
says he'll be okay.
yeah. Maybe okay in a relative sense there, but
Yeah,
yeah. Um, so despite having my reservations about this film, I would definitely like watch these subsequent series, which Aiden has said are amazing. So
mm-hmm.
and it's clearly been had enough merits that we've enjoyed a fruitful discussion about it. So yeah, I'm glad I watched this film. Glad
Oh,
I
I am
had
too.
this experience.
I'm surprised I missed it, but it's well worth watching.
Yeah, Mark, you told me that you were very excited about the next topic. Are you allowed to reveal it now?
I will, but I want to say one last thing
Please, yeah, please.
before we wrap. At the end, you know, I mentioned that this is kind of a coming of age story.
Yeah.
It's a story of initiation.
Yeah,
Um,
we have to talk about that last scene if that's what you're gonna the
well,
flag scene or no.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with the flag, but um, in the end, you know, I think what needed to happen happened. or what
Yeah.
I hoped would happen happened. Should we spoil it for those that haven't seen it?
I guess. I mean, I don't think it's that essential. And again, it's like it's also the point where it's like, okay, this is happening. I don't know. It's like it's
Hmm.
expected to some
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah. So Sean tosses the
Flag of
flag
Saint
with the
George.
Saint George Saint George's cross into the sea. Basically, he
Yeah.
walks to the beach and hurls it into the water,
Yeah.
which is an appropriate ending, I think. But uh, what I thought, what occurred to me, maybe not only at the end, but two or three times during the viewing of the film, I thought of the biblical uh, passage. When I was a child, I spoke like a child, I thought like a child, I understood like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. So I really think of it as a coming of age story. Um, yes, it's also a social commentary, but you know, adolescence, there's so many things I'm ashamed of when I think of that period of
Mm-hmm.
time and how fucking stupid I was and brainwashed, and you know, maybe some things weren't my fault.
So you're saying I should be sympathetic with my students of that age?
Well, yeah, I think we have to be. I mean, think
Sure.
of
Sure.
yourself at that time. Are you
Yeah.
proud
No.
of
For sure.
you've shared like your
Carl Sagan
experience? Yeah,
story.
your Carl Sagan story. That wasn't your finest moment, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so there's so many things like that, and you can even sympathize with the combo character, like, but for the grace of God, there go I. Like, what if circumstances had been different? Could I have ended up like that? I mean, you can see how a person could become like that, and it's a
Yeah.
depressing thought, you
Yeah.
know.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing I like about the film. It's not. I don't think it's quite as cartoonish as you do. Maybe, I think
I don't
there's
think it's
enough.
cartoonish. I just think there's an. I'm greedy when I watch films for
I
like
understand,
nuance,
but
for complexity.
I think there's enough gray area in this. Although even as
I
I'm
agree.
saying this, I'm thinking of the last scene, and there's no gray area there. That's completely horrifying. But
Or
um,
just the way that like they deal with the Pakistani guy. That's kind of predictable to me. Like
yeah.
the first interaction, then return with this
But
interaction.
think of it this way, right? Like even Sean, the cute, adorable little boy with the sad eyes, we like him, right? Like he's a good kid. But look at how horrible he is to the shopkeeper. So
Yeah.
so we can like him and still be repulsed by his actions.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think
a good
it
point.
does. I think it does show the complexity of people, and maybe
It
it's
shows the
like a
complexity of people, but even that can be kind of a cliche.
yeah, but I think I'm glad that we have movies like this. It seems like today, 2023, there's such a fanatical kind of concern with being right, being good. I'm one of the good people. I'm on the right side. I'm not one of the deplorables, or I'm not one of the shit libs, or I'm not, one of those people.
Right.
I'm
Yeah, that's a
woke,
really
or
good point.
I'm woke, or I'm anti woke.
Right.
Uh I'm good. I'm on the side of righteousness.
Right.
I see through it all.
Right.
I mean that, and the need to express it to other people, virtue signaling, as we call it.
Right.
I think that
Which, as you
with
said,
these,
can go both ways.
what do you mean?
Virtue signaling. I mean, virtue signaling can be from a quote unquote right or a left position. I mean, the
Yeah,
woke and the
yeah.
anti
Oh,
woke.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, virtue signaling, and then virtue signaling that you're not virtue signaling. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you
Which
go
is
out of
virtue
your
signaling.
you go out of your way to prove that you're against cancel culture. I mean, maybe that's not the best example, but you go out of your way to prove that you're anti woke making by like provocatively using racially charged language or
Yeah, or just
sexist language.
looking for the most absurd examples of wokeism and constantly acting like that's everybody.
And hyper focusing on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, all of that. So I think a film with these flawed characters that we can sympathize with to greater or lesser degrees, some more than others, obviously, Sean and Woody and so on, much more than Combo, hopefully. Hopefully people don't sympathize too much with him and his darker moments. But when we see his humanity, I mean, even if you think he's horrible, your goal should be to convert him,
Sure.
right? So he's not horrible. But if you completely dismiss him and say he's too far gone and he's a total piece of shit, and you don't recognize the ways in which you yourself are a piece of shit,
For
well,
sure, man.
what's the point?
For sure.
So the whole point is to say you're saved and everyone not with you is damned. Well, sorry, I don't accept that.
And that was my point too. Yeah, that the filmmaker is making us look at ourselves and how we are part of this, and our society creates this, and yeah,
I think he
we
was
can't escape
successful.
culpability.
I think he was successful in that sense. I mean, he's holding up the mirror to us, which is
the black
what great art does. Yeah.
All
right. So the next topic, was there anything else?
No. I'm saying like
You got to pee again?
No, but I wouldn't mind eating.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't.
We've been going a while, bro.
I wouldn't mind sleeping.
Okay.
All right. The next topic is a text generated by ChatGPT.
Oh.
So
okay.
You're going to be forced to confront the AI apocalypse.
Do you already have this text?
Yes. I've already generated it.
You generated it. It's not one you found, yeah?
Well, AI generated a text in response to my prompt.
Okay.
So
can you tell me what the text is?
I may as well, huh? So
you don't have to read the text, but like, what is it a response to?
I generally, basically, I instructed ChatGPT to generate an episode of Texting, a podcast for textual deviants, hosted by Mark, Will, and Tomek. And the instructions were that it should be an hour long, and it spat out, like a 2-minute dialogue between Mark, Will, and Tomek.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you'll like it. I mean, it's a
okay.
We'll examine the text and then we'll comment on it and we'll talk about.
And I have some experience as well, like with getting ChatGPT to write poems and stuff. So yeah, we can both bring some context.
Well, I'll share the text with you and we'll take it from there.
It's exciting. Should be good.
Okay, everyone. Until next time.
Cheers, everybody. The film again is This Is England. You can find it online at your preferred source.
Bye-bye.
Bye.